And my name is Jill Churchill, and I am an Associate Program Administration Specialist with the Office of Global Engineering Programs. And basically, I do short term study abroad and the Global Engineering minor. And I am here with our ambassadors, Matthew Vining and Shelby Hedges, and they will also be telling their stories on their international experience. So one of the first questions we always get is, what is Global Engineering Programs? And basically, an easy way to think of it is we are the international office for the College of Engineering. And so any of the international programs that we have, whether it's internships, short-term study abroad semesters, we are going to have a hand in that within the College of Engineering. And this is our team. You can easily find us on our website, all of us. We all have different functions within the office. So if you have a program where you have a particular interest, you can always look on our website under our staff and find the best person to contact. And this is our learning portfolio. So these are some of the things that we handle within the office. Global design teams, which are international service learning projects, short-term study abroad, which we call STEP Abroad, and SURGE, which is undergraduate research in global engineering. We also handle the Engineers Without Borders and Global EPICS programs. So if you've been involved with EPICS and you happen to be on a global team, we will be handling the travel on that. We have our Global Engineering Learning Community, that is for our freshmen. And GEAR, we work with the Office of Professional Practice on the GEAR programs and international internships. And then we have signature programs, semester programs, which we call LEAPS, long-term engineering abroad programs. And we have two managers for those, one for Spain and Spanish speaking locations, and the other is for Asia Pacific. So areas of Japan, China, and Singapore. The Global Engineering Studies minor, which is open to all engineering students, whether or not you're in the GEAR program. And I handle most of the minor students that come through that are non-GEAR. And we also have ambassadors, which we have two of our ambassadors here tonight. So these are students who basically represent our office for presentations and escort visitors around campus if they come to campus and talk to students about all of our global programs. Let's go ahead and skip this one, Matthew. We'll go on to the next one. Keep going. Okay, the Global Engineering, I already mentioned the Global Engineering Studies minor, which we just passed. Again, if you're interested in that, let me know, because that is open to all students in the College of Engineering. It's not just for GEAR students. GEAR is a program, it is handled by the Office of Professional Practice here at Purdue. However, we do have a lot to do with it within our office, and I can explain. It's basically a comprehensive program where if you have a global internship, you have a domestic internship, an international internship, as well as a semester abroad and taking some language and a couple of pre-departure courses. So it's a comprehensive program. And when you are done with that program, you do have a global engineering minor, as well as a lot of good work experience. I think we can skip this one. Their learning community, that's for the freshmen. You can take a look at our website and it will have this map, and it will show you all the locations we have available for study abroad programs. Basically, we have programs all over the world in numerous countries. So whether you are interested in a particular language or you don't speak a language at all other than your native language, that's not a problem, as long as classes can be taught in English. Most everywhere around the world. If you want to take classes in another language, you are more than welcome to do that. You just have to prove you have the language capability to do that. So we do have our signature programs, as I mentioned, the STEP Abroad, which is short-term engineering programs, LEAPS, long-term engineering abroad programs, and SURGE, which is summer undergraduate research in global engineering. And so we have all of these programs available. So if you want to do anything from a week at spring break to almost a year abroad, you can do that. It just depends on what your interests are. And as for why choosing study abroad, um, I will let Matthew, I don't know if this was the slide you were referring to, Matthew, on why choosing it, if you and Shelby want to mention why you chose to study abroad.
So I do have a later slide that talks about my specific study abroad experiences, but going into Purdue, I knew that I wanted to have some type of global focus with my work. I think as engineers, we tend to fall into like the path of, oh, we are applying a specific solution for one problem. But when you think into the grand scale of things, a lot of areas have similar problems, but they adapt specifically culturally adapted solutions for different situations. And I think study abroad is a really good way to see that in real time and also being able to experience it. I also think by being abroad, you not only get to experience a new culture, but you get to see exactly how engineering in different perspectives and mindsets works, and being able to bring that back to your next internship, co-op, or even your job after graduation, I think is a very useful skill.
Okay. And you said there is a slide later for this, or should we have Shelby speak here as well?
Yeah, so I actually haven't had the opportunity to go abroad yet, but the global engineering community and all those I know that have studied abroad really it speaks to a depth of knowledge that they learn when they do study abroad. So hearing that from professors, from peers, just anybody who studied abroad or even being part of the global community as I am is really just it really just broadens your horizons.
Okay. Okay, and as I mentioned before, very few of our programs have a language requirement. So short-term study abroad programs like the ones I handle that are typically in the Maymester, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, never have a language requirement. These are Purdue professors teaching these courses abroad. There are a few semester programs that have a language requirement, but again, those are very specific. So um, mostly it would be in Germany for those particular programs. So there's the whole world's wide open, and we can get you classes in English in several places. And this is Matthew again, and Matthew's actually done 2 programs, so we'll let you start talking about that.
Yeah, so I had my first global experience. I actually, like Shelby, was a part of the learning community. And when I applied to Purdue, I remember I wasn't initially thinking of a learning community, but I decided to go with one. And that really was my kind of like foot in the door way of becoming more interested in global programs and really like being able to see the network that we have at Purdue. We have such an expansive network of global opportunities. And so the first opportunity I pursued was a Maymester. I think if you're nervous about study abroad or not really sure how you'll be able to fit it into your plan of study, I think Maymesters are even over winter, spring break are the best for the first time going abroad because you get a feel of how it is living abroad and adjusting to that in a shorter period of time to see if that's really something you want to do for an entire semester. So my first one was actually in Sweden and Denmark, and Jill was there as well. But it was during the summer, and we pretty much before that had an entire semester class. And during this semester, we got to learn about the different cultures and environmental management and regulations that they do in Sweden because this was an environmentally focused program. And my background is environmental ecological engineering, so it fit really nicely into my plan of study. And not only did I get course credit for it, but I was able to kind of just learn how different countries adapt their environmental engineered solutions and things that I've never seen in the United States before. We got to learn about beforehand and also just learn about how you quantify and categorize different types of environmental management practices and issues and how you approach issues like climate change or water quality issues. And then by the time May came around, we actually got to go to Sweden and Denmark, and we got to experience so many different types of like facilities. We went to like waste incineration plants, um, wastewater plants. We went to a paper mill. We got to plant trees and learn about different like life cycle properties of products that are sold and manufactured in Sweden. We also got to learn about different ways they use combined heat and power. So it was just really an immersive experience and seeing how different engineered solutions are applied to different areas. And then additionally to that, I also, this last year, well, it's been a year now, I was in New Zealand for a semester, supposed to be a semester, but unfortunately due to COVID, I was only there actually for 2 months. But this program was definitely by far my favorite thing I've ever done in college, even though it was like 7 to 8 weeks only. And pretty much in this, what I did is I first approached it with my advisor, because if you're kind of wondering how you're going to fit an entire semester into your plan of study and how you're going to be able to study it in that way, I would definitely contact your advisor first, because they're the main person to go to, and they can tell you exactly when you can study abroad, what classes you can take during certain semesters, so that by the time you do study abroad, you can take courses that translate over into your degree program. And so I took, I want to say, like, I think only 3 to 4 classes. So it was very lightweight compared to what I was usually used to. But I think taking about 3 to 4 classes is perfect, because it gives you enough opportunity to also experience the culture and travel a lot and really just see a new country that you've never seen before. I also had the opportunity to conduct research abroad, which is something that I didn't even think was possible. And it was really simple too. I just reached out to professor over email. I was like, hey, like, I see you do this research and I'm really interested in it. How can I get more involved? And everybody at the university was so nice and just like really accommodating for my schedule. And I was able to do research while abroad as well. And by the time I came back, they were accommodating even more. And so I was able to continue the research back in the States as well. And I just think it's a really awesome experience. If you have the opportunity, I would definitely start looking into it now, where you can fit study abroad into your plan of study, just so by the time you do go abroad, it fits nicely. And it's very possible to go abroad for a semester and graduate on time. I mean, I picked up 2 minors and went abroad for a semester, and I'm still graduating on time. So it's definitely manageable. And then I guess the last thing I also did was I was a member of Engineers Without Borders for, I want to say, 4 semesters, I believe. I got involved with this my freshman year, but you can definitely get involved with it any semester you want. I will say the first semester, it's mainly just a club, so you get to kind of get the feel for how you would fit in it and what you would do in Engineers Without Borders. But if you're interested in Engineers Without Borders, please contact me, and I could definitely talk more about what I did and what current projects they're working on, and also get you in contact with people who are currently in the organization.
Yeah, so similar to Matthew, as he mentioned, I was part of the Global Engineering Learning Community and GP200, which is like a second level of the Global Engineering Learning Community, which would happen during my freshman year, but really opened the door to me for what my global experience was, which was research. My global experience is much different in the sense that I never actually left West Lafayette. Partially due to code reasons, partially due to this is just where I kind of found my niche. So what happened my freshman year was, after being part of this learning community where I got to hear about all these amazing research positions with different professors, where they come in and talk to us in these seminars about all the work they were doing, I was able to take that next step and be assigned and paired with a professor, and I was able actually to work on a research problem as a freshman, involving a refugee camp in Kenya. And I was able to work on a information dissemination system for them. And this even led to being part of the I2D exposition that Global Engineering puts on, where I was able to present this research at a forum with lots of really unique individuals. And I not only was I able to present at that with my team members, as seen in the pictures, I actually got to uh, learn a lot about other researches, ranging from, wind power in Latin America to other kinds of renewable energy, in Asia and all sorts of other places. But my research really focused on, again, that refugee camp in Kenya. And so through that, I was able to work with a team of professors and PhD students and be in contact with UNHCR engineers each week, learning and really just get my foot in the door and figuring out where my interests lie. Because my freshman year, I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go, and global engineering really helped push me in the right direction and align my goals to, really where my passions lay, and really put me on the right direction. So if you have any questions about research experience or out of classroom learning experiences, especially in West Lafayette with Purdue, please feel free to contact me, send me an email there. Understand that because of COVID, it kind of seems like our global experiences might be cut off right now, but that is absolutely not true. There are so many opportunities available for you here at Purdue. So please feel free to contact me about that. I'd be more than happy to tell you all about that.
Okay, and one of the questions I get very often is which type of a program should I consider? And this is really up to you and your interests. So if you want to do a semester, you can do that. If going away for 4 or 5 months is not your thing, you could do a spring break program. You could do a Maymester, which is anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. There's so many locations to choose from as within the United States. Locations around the world all have different costs and different costs of living and things like that. So it just depends on your budget, how much time you want to be gone. Is there a language you're interested in speaking or learning more about, or is there a particular research area you're wanting to look at? So there's just so many things to consider. You can reach out to any one of us in global engineering and we'll help you try to narrow down your choices. And so we are in Wang Hall. Hopefully in the fall, we'll be back to normal and we'll all be back on campus and have students come in. We're on the 4th floor of Wang Hall. You can reach us anytime at our general email address at gep@Purdue, or you can call our office and we do take appointments in our office. So feel free to stop by. And are there any questions?
I have a question that
Mhm.
I'm considering to like apply for a GEAR program, and I think GEAR program is one of the global engineering program, and I'm wondering what's the difference between those programs, because the GEAR program also offers like international internship or like research and study abroad thing, and I think those programs in global engineering are kind of like similar, and I want to know what's the difference of those programs.
Sure. Well, we work very closely with the GEAR program. Some of our students even do some of the same classes and same short-term study abroad program types. So I know this is a question I get a lot and it can be kind of confusing. And the study abroad portion of the GEAR program that you're referring to is exactly the same as our students who do study abroad. So it basically, GEAR is a comprehensive program where you have to take 12 credits of language and you take a pre-departure course before you study abroad for the semester. You do a domestic internship and you do an international internship. Individually, any one of those things is exactly the same as what students who are not in the GEAR program will do. It's just that GEAR is a program where you put all that together and you get a particular global engineering minor. You can still get a global engineering minor, even just doing a study abroad. Matthew, as he mentioned, earned the global engineering minor and he's not in the GEAR program. So it just depends on, there also is a GPA requirement for the GEAR program. You have to maintain a 3.0. So there's that consideration as well, or students who just don't want to do, maybe the 12 credits of language, that kind of thing. So it's kind of picking and choosing what it is you want to focus on during your time here at Purdue. So some want to complete that GEAR program and some just want to do more of an individualized plan of study or global experiences. So, and our name is a little confusing, I think. Instead of thinking of us more as global engineering programs and partnerships, you can think of us more as international programs in engineering. And we are here just to guide you on what type of program you want, what type of research experience you want, what type of maybe global project you want to work on. We can help you find more options, whereas GEAR is a very specific program put together. And there's really not a lot of leeway in there. You do their program. Does that make sense at all?
Mm-hmm. So GEAR program has 12 requirement credits for the language, but
yes,
like other programs in global engineering don't require those like language or
right.
credit requirements.
So GEAR is is very specific. They want you to, and basically they also want you to study abroad in the country of, in a country that speaks the language that you have studied, and hopefully get your internship in that same country. Sometimes that it doesn't always work out, but that's the goal, is that you would have your internship there, have your 12 credits of language before you leave, and do your study abroad all in a, let's say you wanted Spanish, it would be all in a Spanish speaking country. If you want to just do as Matthew said, he studied abroad in New Zealand. Obviously, they speak English there, so there's no language requirement for that. In most places around the world, there is no language requirement for our students to study abroad, and they just the courses are taught in English, and so that's not part of the program. It doesn't have to be. It can if you want it to be. It doesn't have to be. You could just do a regular study abroad. You could do a short-term program on your own, and none of those would have a language requirement.
Okay. After my undergraduate study, I'm planning to take master's degree after this. So
Okay.
I'm wondering what kind of program is good for like my research and those kind of things.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, other than are you wanting to work in a particular area? Do you have a particular plan of study that you're thinking of?
I'm in freshman engineering,
Mhm.
and I think I'm going to major in electrical engineering.
Mhm.
So I want to look for the areas that I can take a research on, like related to electrical engineering on sophomore or junior year.
Okay, well, there are many programs where you can do different types of research. There's a couple in particular. There's a summer program in Germany and it's on the Study Abroad website. You can actually find it, and it's open to all of engineering. And they will find you research projects. It's in Hanover and Clausthal, I believe, is the name of the program. And they will find you projects within your major. If what you're asking about is something that would carry over into a master's study, that I don't really have anything that I could, guide you in that direction, because everything we do is for undergraduates. We do work with some graduate students who maybe help with our projects, or, we work with some graduate student groups, but most everything we do is for undergraduates. So there's really not anything that I can tell you that would specifically tie into graduate school.
Okay.
But there's lots of programs along the way. You can find a lot of things on our website, the Global Engineering website, and you can also find a lot on the Study Abroad website, the university-wide site, and just put in College of Engineering on the search page, and it will bring up all of our programs within the College of Engineering that you can get credit for, and maybe find something that you'd be interested in that way. You can search many different ways on that page. You can search by the country you're interested in going to, by language, by the length of the program, by the college, like College of Engineering, or whatever college people are in, they can search that way. So there's many different ways to find the information you're looking for.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have one more question about
Sure.
the research thing. I'm currently in honors college, and I heard from my honors advisor that I can get honors credits for the research also. So I'm wondering, if I take research in one of the global engineering program, if that research thing can be included into honors credit or something related to that.
That would be once you identified a project or identified a research project you were working on, then that we would have to work with whoever was supervising that project to talk to your advisor in the honors college. I could not guarantee credit or say that this or that program would give you honors credit. That would be completely up to the honors college, and they would have to probably review the requirements of the project you were working on and determine whether or not it fit their criteria. So I'm not saying no. We could probably absolutely find something that would work for you as far as a research project or a professor to work with. But whether or not that fit their criteria, that's up to the Honors College.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions?
No.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for stopping by here tonight. I really appreciate it. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you all of you guys for sharing your stories, sharing things.
Yes.
I can I don't have how to connect the QR code, so can I write my
I can share that. Oh, yeah, yeah. Go ahead and just leave it in the chat. That's fine. Just your name and Purdue email.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right.